Alright, today I'm going to be giving you guys another update on the Bitcoin price action and what we can probably expect to see going into the weekend. So starting off, yes, it's very bullish that we got this pump up and we have now reclaimed the range as of now. Are we fully out of the woods yet? No, absolutely not. This could just be a retracement. We could still enter the bear market within the next couple weeks or so, but currently where price action is right now is very, very good because we are now above support and we are respecting that support very well on the shorter term time frame. So let's go ahead and talk about those levels. Essentially, this green dashed line here is the value area high of a fixed range pulled within here. It's a volume level from a fixed range volume profile, and this should be held in a bull case. Technically, yes, as long as we hold this value area low, that is all good. But the fact that we have gotten through this range and we are now above the value area high, if we truly are bullish, this should actually hold as support, at least, point of control. So this box within here is where we don't want to see Bitcoin getting below that. Ends at around 57,800, and then currently we are finding support a little bit higher up. If we jump in here to the hourly time frame, you can see this golden pocket has now flipped into support. Very nice bounce off of that 618. This is a previous golden pocket pulled swing low, swing high from a previous range, so it's not from our current low to the current high, but this is something we wanted to hold originally when we had first come down here, and since we deviated outside of this range and gotten back within, now let's see if we can actually flip this into support. We could also go ahead and pull the golden pocket from the current swing low, swing high within here, and this would also be your technical kind of worst case scenario. We should not be losing this golden pocket, so while we do have this support higher up, and it would be in the most bullish scenario the best to go ahead and hold 57,800 to where current price is right now, we could still come all the way down to the range lows back at around 54k, and this is certainly still in the cards, so I wouldn't freak out if this happened, but I do certainly want us to kind of just hold up here higher, and I do think if we can range at the current level throughout the weekend, that is going to be very nice for us. Historically, weekend, very low volume, very low volatility, so I would not be surprised at all if Bitcoin just kind of stays where it is for the next couple of days, and that is what I'm kind of hoping for, right? We could probably range within this golden pocket, testing it as support, and then after this chop going into Monday, we probably find that low, sweep the range real quick to this value area high or point of control, and then this is where we find the bounce off and except back above the CME gap that we had previously filled without creating any new ones to the downside. So essentially, yeah, that's kind of my prediction right now. I think we're just going to range within here, probably sweep that range to the downside opening Monday, and that will be a reversal point that will then send us on up higher after that sweep of the weekend range. So my plan will be to potentially look for long positions going into Monday, but of course using very tight stops on that. I was on a long from the lows already that I have closed out of and taken profits on, so I'll be using those profits to go ahead and give me a nice risk-free entry, assuming we do get a nice setup in here with, of course, a very tight stop and invalidation. You shouldn't be just longing stuff if you don't know what you're doing, but essentially if this does play out, I think as soon as we can go ahead and make a higher high here, if we can start accepting back above this CME gap, at this point, all-time highs is going to be almost a guarantee based off of this liquidity that we keep talking about. The fact that we grabbed the 50k liquidity, we're going to start hunting up to all-time highs, and I do expect that is the next target right now, but we do need to get past where we currently are on the charts, because this is something we talked about in yesterday's video. This mid-channel trend, we expected to find some resistance here, but we don't want to actually have a true reversal from here. If this is truly a retracement, we probably don't get back above this mid-channel trend, and we do fall from here, and this is where the bear market could ensue. So we got to be staying critical on the charts. We got to be watching it closely, especially if we do come up and maybe sweep this and get back under trend once again. We don't really want to see any of that play out. We want any bounces off of this level to be sustained with nice higher lows, higher highs continually. As soon as we start changing structure on these shorter term time frames outside of a weekend sweep, that will kind of concern me a little bit. So we'll see how it does play out. Currently over on Trading Light, we also have some very interesting stuff which could be a little bit more on the bearish side as well, which is a absolutely absurd amount of limit short orders in the order books over here on Binance. You can see each of these like green, blue, pink blocks. These are limit sell walls in the order books on leverage. So this is the Binance USDTM perpetuals pair, and each one of these signifies over 500 Bitcoin. We see a large 1,000 Bitcoin sell wall right on this sweep level. This is a previous liquidity level from all the way back here on the charts that I was looking at, potential short if we got a swing failure pattern of this, and we did get the swing failure. So this could be a short setup, right? I would be in this, except for it's Friday. I'm not going to be entering trades going into the weekend, so I'm going to wait for Monday to open. I have more sweep levels to the upside, so assuming, we go ahead and sweep this going into Monday, something like that, that could be more bearish than not. With this selling pressure, if we see these walls continue to stack, if they keep adding on and seem like they're on the right side of the market, if a lot of longs are fumbling into these walls, if a lot of shorts get closed out into these walls, right, we'll be looking at our order flow here to see if these walls are truly on the right side of the market or if they're going to get taken out like some of these other sell walls that here at the lows. We saw, thousands of Bitcoin being shorted into the market, and price, while initially rejected off of them, did not carry and went ahead and squeezed up on later. So these walls don't have to be respected, but this is thousands of Bitcoin. This might be the most amount of Bitcoin I've ever seen stacked into limit sell walls. If we were to count this up, this is 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, almost 13,000 Bitcoin worth of limit sell walls, and some of this stuff has already been filled. So it's probably 15,000 Bitcoin worth of sell walls from just a couple people, right? This looks like it was limited in by an API all at the same time. These are staggered limit walls from probably just one whale, and 15,000 Bitcoin right now is over $900 million, potentially over $1 billion of limit sell walls in the order books just above current price. So we'll see if Bitcoin can actually get through this. If it does, that's obviously going to be pretty bullish, but if it cannot, right, if this guy is actually on the right side of the market, this could be bad news for us. Although if we were to just go off of local history, potentially we do just see the small correction here, some weekend chop, and then we could go up and fire through these orders just like we did back here, especially if he does remove them from the order books. So this is certainly something to keep our eye on. We will see how price reacts with all of these large limit sell walls in the order books over here on Binance. We also see throughout this range here that open interest has been going down. You can see the lower highs on the OI, whereas the lows are actually starting to make a lower low there as well. So what this indicates is that positions are being closed out as price moves up, which indicates this is more of a short squeeze, which is normally not the most bullish thing we can have on the charts. So let's see if open interest does continue down here, if it is more of just a short squeeze throughout here. Something we saw is that during this price movement here, open interest was coming up, shorts were being opened, and then price started to make these higher lows. So potentially we could keep these higher lows. I think if a lot of shorts continue to open throughout the weekend and price does not start heading down, that could indicate we're going to continue to squeeze shorts, which we have been doing, right? A lot of this was a short squeeze. So if we do continue to stack on shorts, if they keep adding on to their positions and price does not respect them, that is actually going to be very bullish. But of course we need price to follow through. If a bunch of shorts continue to open like they are right now and price starts making a lower low, then that's not going to be a good sign. We want this to maintain the range throughout the weekend and then to start firing off. And I do think a good short squeeze after this weekend is definitely possible. I think there could be a lot of shorts at this level. I think there's still a lot of bears in the market. I don't think the sentiment has quite flipped bullish just yet, which is something I don't mind seeing, because my thesis is that this is going to be a short squeeze up into all-time highs. So let's see if we can get the continual fuel added from short positions, and then finally go ahead and fully accept this golden pocket back into support to head on up to all-time highs to do the full squeeze of all of those shorts. And that's where your bears are going to capitulate back into the market, and that will be the deciding factor for Bitcoin. Will we swing fail the highs and get back under, and this becomes your final top, or can we actually bust through this and go on to 6 figures plus? Only time will tell, and currently we don't even have a guarantee that we will get up there. We need this to confirm as support. We need to actually get out of this range if this is truly bearish, this is where we would reject off the mid-channel trend. We already filled the CME gap and we already had a bit of a short squeeze. So nothing on the charts makes me super bullish, nothing on the charts makes me super bearish. We are really stuck in the middle of a range right now, going into a weekend. So let's see if we can just maintain the range, have that sideways chop, and then the classic sweep of the weekend range. Let's see if it's a sweep of the lows first or the sweep of the highs first, which will indicate what position I'm going to be taking. If we sweep the highs, probably going to be getting into a short. If we sweep the lows, probably going to be getting into a long. So those are my thoughts on Bitcoin. Let's talk about the S&P now, because I do really like what we're seeing over here on the charts. The S&P has confirmed a higher high here on the local time frame after bouncing off of that golden pocket and sweeping this low back here very nicely. So let's see if we can maintain, once again, just like Bitcoin, these higher lows, these higher highs, and we can start hunting all the way up to all-time highs once again on the S&P, which will be very good for crypto because all risk on assets are correlated together. So we do need the S&P to start hunting up here if we are going to have that bull case for Bitcoin. We will also need the Russell to start heading up as well, and we can see that we are respecting these levels very nicely, and we have started to flip more stuff into resistance than not, but certainly we are still holding the higher lows just like on the S&P, and I do think there's a good chance this stuff starts getting flipped back into support. And of course, as we've been talking about, we need to reclaim this previous bull market range that we had from 2021, where we had the last altcoin season. And once we can get back up in here, I think that's going to give us clear skies for our more risk on assets in crypto to start flying. And this is where we could see the Bitcoin dominance start to decrease and have your big altcoin season. So let's see if the Russell can start regaining strength once again. And assuming it can, I do think the Bitcoin dominance will start to come down. Although I will say Bitcoin dominance does look very strong here. So we'll see what happens, but we are starting to get up into these price levels that we saw, or these percentage levels that we saw back in 2020 before the altcoin season started, right? This is the level that the altcoin season started last time. So potentially, we still have a bit of time to go on the Bitcoin dominance. But I do think, with the trend of this dominance going down, we should start sooner rather than later. So potentially this is just this kind of spike out of the norm right now, and we could see that altcoin season sooner rather than later. Once again, we just need the Russell to break out, we need the S&P to hunt for all-time highs, and then we need Bitcoin to hold where it is right now. We need to actually flip this mid-channel trend into support. Assuming all of those things can come together, I do think we're going to be seeing some very bullish times ahead for the markets overall. And if you do have any questions about anything I talked about, or just want to join the community for this channel, link to my Discord is in the description down below. Also below that is a VIP Discord. Become a crypto eagle today if you do want to learn how to leverage trade or get better at leverage trading. Trying to offer as much value as possible. So click that link if you want to learn more about it. It's not a signals group whatsoever, by the way, and it is 50% off right now for the first month. That is a limited time deal, only $20 if you want to go try it out. And below the Discord links are exchange partners, so definitely go ahead and check out some of my exchange partners. BingX and Weeks right now are hosting a limited time event for my channel, so you can earn yourself some cool rewards, deposit bonuses, etc. So definitely go check that out as well. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.